In 1992, together with a few women from Crown Heights and the leadership of Melech Chabad, several key activist women such as Mrs. Mindy Halberstam, Mrs. Shifra Henry, Mrs. Trina Light, Mrs. Steiner Spritzer, Mrs. Leah Pinson, and others, I'm sorry if I'm missing anyone out, initiated a series of pulos and Kabbalas HaMalchus, which received unprecedented brachas and incredible cure from the Rebbe. Throughout all of the planning for any Kabbalas HaMalchus event, there were constant warm responses from the Rebbe Melech HaMoshiach, one after the other, encouraging every activity that they wanted to do. So naturally, this encouragement further inspired the women to continue promoting the Kabbalas HaMalchus of the Rebbe Melech HaMoshiach. Even if in the beginning Melech Chabad was unsure if they were doing the right thing, when they saw the type of responses coming from the Rebbe constantly and there were no more doubts.
Das ist von Rebsch mit dem Tochen, die Weiber getanzt nächten. Das Simcha Poiret alle Gdorim. Mit der Betochen in Hisgalus Kvoit Kedushes Azma של המלך המשיח, מיד ממש zum Gula Shlema.
Das ist verlassen Berlin ist dann.
Ja.
Das ist ein Schifflich Zoll. So
Amen,
wird das
Amen.
auch dürfen kriegen.
Amen,
Das ist
Amen.
ein guter Schock. Das war der ganze Titel.
Ich wollte in Italien zu meinen Eltern
So
morgen.
gemacht dort in Italien. Ein lockerer Schloss.
ברוך השם יש המשך פעילות נפלאה. ברוך השם יש המשך פעילות נפלאה בכל מכל כל. ומבצע וביקשו את השם ודוד מלכה ומצאו מתפשט תחת נשי חב"ד בכל העולם כולו ולכל השליחות. אנחנו מקבלות בזה נשי בנות חב"ד את פני משיח צדקנו כבוד קודשו עמו שליטה. ולכן קוממים לארצנו הקדושה.
ובשבילי, לבשורות טובות, ובשביל כל עניינים צריך לשלם לצדקה, ותהיה הצלחה רבה וללכת לחיים אל חוי עד שתוך האלוקים ביצים בגלל האמיתיס והשלמה. ברכה והצלחה, הצלחה רבה. הסתדמתם לי?
Historia Pushke, wie die Geld, die Haskolle von die Geld, was die Goyen haben Menade gewinnt, במפגש מעט 770 ביס משיח, זה המתונת von allen Neschil בנוספר חב"ד, כבר רב משליטה, לכובד ים הבויר, ראש חודש כיסלב, ונעלה אירועים, וחודש הגאולה, חודש כיסלב. Ihr beten schon ist Borech, unser Rebbe soll sein gesund und stark, לחיים נצחיים, und unser Rebbe, Melech HaMoshiach, soll für kein Eretz Yisrael, und sollen helfen, nein wir äußern, nein wir schmor, lev lo das, zu seinen Tekef und Miyad.
Amen! Weil zu ist es, dass ja Zoke, und Zoke noch mehr zu haben, die Gula.
A particular note was a huge, famous Malava Malka / Kabbalas Panim for Melech HaMoshiach, which took place on Motzei Shabbos Kodesh, Chaf Ches Teves 5752, the birthday of the Rebbetzin. Chana. Melech Chabad arranged a Sudas Malava Malka for the acceptance of Mashiach Tzidkenu. It wasn't that they were inviting the Rebbe to come to a Farbrengen. They wanted the Rebbe to come as Melech HaMoshiach, and they made a beautiful gold engraved invite addressed to Kavod Malchusei Melech HaMoshiach, that we're holding a Kabbalas Panim for Melech HaMoshiach, and we want the Rebbe to say Terech Hadasha and come as Mashiach. And they were even able to get the downstairs of 770, which was in itself a miracle, because only special occasions Melech Chabad used to get the downstairs, which was never usually empty of men, but only on rare occasions. They were getting constant, direct, strong brachas from the Rebbe, so even people who were skeptical in the beginning and were kind of like mocking the idea a little bit, it became more and more obvious that the Rebbe was in it. The Melech Chabad all around the world were also making simultaneous gatherings as well. There were thousands in Paris and in England and in Belgium and in Australia and all in different parts of the United States, and places all over the world kept getting brachas. That Malava Malka was a historical event. Women from all over the neighborhood came in throngs, and Shifra assumed there may have been about 10,000 women, and the place was packed even an hour before it was supposed to start. It was jam-packed from wall to wall. And the Rabbanim who were invited to speak, which they invited like great speakers from all around the world, they had to be asked to actually try to come early so that they would be able to start the program because everybody was there early.
Right from the beginning of history, In my opinion, Yaakov Avinu teaches us that we darf sich kochen in Moshiach. So I wander around the world, and these machen letzonos, and those criticize, and those are skeptical, etc., etc. And it's impossible not to be weakened a little bit, not to be influenced a little bit. Nobody likes to be laughed at. Nobody likes to be criticized. So what does one do who lives the Tachton Shebetachtonim in Australia? It's more than just a joke what I'm going to tell you. There was a story going around the world that a Russian Agoy and a Frenchman Agoy and Lahavdul Ayid came out from a clinic where there were specialists. And the three of them, Achmor al-Islam, the specialists told them they've only got 3 months to live. So as they walked out of the office of the specialist, they turned round to the Russian and say to him, "What are you going to do now the last 3 months of your life?" And the Chagoy, Ivan, he said, "I'm going to take all my money out of the bank and I'm going to buy up all the vodka that there is in Russia and I'm going to drink and bathe in it till I die." They turned around to the Frenchman and asked him, "What are you going to do?" So he said the same thing, "I'm going to take all my money out of the bank and I'm going to live a life full of tigers." They both turned around Lahavdil to the Yid and they said to him, "Yankel, what are you going to do?" So he said, "I'm going to take out $4,000 from the bank and buy a round the world ticket. And I'm going to spend the next 3 months of my life seeking a second opinion." I came to Crown Heights to seek a second opinion. So somebody will ask me, "You're a Rav, you have colleagues, you have friends, Rosh Yeshivas, Talmidei Chachamim, was etwas bist du gekommen to the women to get a second opinion? Why didn't you go to them?" So I want to tell you, it's been mentioned a number of times that B'shvil Noshim Tzidkonius Nigalu Aviseinu Mitzroim Agemorim Soita. You know what made them Tzidkonius? Because of the apathy. Some who didn't believe. They didn't have the ruchnius in them to believe that the Goel Tzedek, the Goel Rishon is coming and going to redeem them. There were people there who worked very hard. Avodas HaKodesh. They had Moses to look after. They had to do Afotzas HaMayomis in that time. They had to worry where to get money. They had to worry about what this Gvir will say and what that community will say. And so nicht gepasst at that time. They didn't have the courage to accept the words of Moshe Rabbeinu. What did the Jewish women do? They came along into the slave camps and encouraged their husbands, their fathers. They encouraged them to believe that Mashiach is coming and coming now. I want to make one special nekuda. The Goel Rishon was Moshe Rabbeinu. Have you ever wondered why it is that Kadosh Baruch Hu chose a man that the Torah designates, as he said in this week's Sedra, Va'ani Araus Fosayim? Do you think Moshe Rabbeinu couldn't talk? Do you think Moshe Rabbeinu couldn't give siches? Do you think Moshe Rabbeinu couldn't give a narration? He was a king, 40 years, 11 Kush. He was a great man with great talents. But you know what I think the Torah is telling us, and what Moshe Rabbeinu says, V'ani aral fosayim, there are certain things which the Goyel HaRishon could not say. It had to come at Isarusa del Tato. He couldn't come and tell the Jewish people what they should do. There had to come a movement from within to understand what is the demand of the hour. What should call you? The Medrash Sheikhah tells us that at the time when these words were said, it was at the time of the Churban Beis Hamikdash, and Yirmiyahu Hanavi was running in the streets of Jerusalem, and he saw the destruction and the flow of blood, and a voice came down from heaven to Yirmiyahu Hanavi. He said, Yirmiyahu, go to the Kvarim of the Avos and wake them up. Let them come and plead for the Jewish people before me. And Yirmiyahu Hanavi went to the Moras HaMachpelah, and he woke up. Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. They asked him, why are you waking us up from the grave? And the Medrash says Yirmiyahu Hanavi was frightened to tell them, in case they say to him, how did you allow such a thing to happen in your lifetime? And then the Medrash goes on to tell us that Avraham went up L'maylo, Yitzchak went up L'maylo, Yaakov went up L'maylo, etc., etc. And no satisfactory answer was given to them. In those moments of tragedy, Yirmiyahu Hanavi said, Koil beramon yishma. A voice was heard on high, a bitter lamenting and weeping. Do you know who was weeping? Rachel, the neshama klolis of Am Yisrael, the mother of the people of Israel, was weeping. She was crying over her children. Mevako al boneha. What should have been written after that? It's boneha is plural. Ki einam, for they are not there. Doesn't say that. It says ki einenu, for he is not there. Mother Rachel would not accept all the drei finger, all the valid excuses, all the arguments and all the critics that told us we shouldn't act in this way, we shouldn't talk in this way, we shouldn't force the issue. And wait. Mother Rachel, she had the heart of a mother. And she was not happy. And she would not be comforted. Why? Ki einenu, for he, Moshiach, had not yet come. And when Jewish mothers weep because Moshiach is not here, then a voice comes down from heaven and says, Mini koilech mibechi. Don't weep anymore. Withhold your tears from your face. Because if women get together and they cry to Hashem Yisborach, we want Mashiach now, then an answer will come from heaven. Yesh tikvo la'acharisech. There is hope for your future. V'shavu vonim legvulam. And the Eibishter sagt zu. That generation, your children will return once again to Artzeinu HaKdosha, to the Beis Hamikdash HaShlishi. So I'll make my placard here. And on it will be written, Bishvil Noshim Tzidkonies, Nigalu Hader Hazeh, Megolos Zeh. And in Sagrayim will be written on this placard that I will carry, Agudas Nishei Lois Chabad. And I will thank you for the privilege of being able to carry that placard in front of you.